Welcome back to Easy Anatomy, and now this is the last video related regarding to blood supply of digestive system. I'm going to talk about portal vein, anatomy of portal vein. I like to share with you first this fact that venous drainage of digestive system, okay, from lower part of esophagus to upper part of anal canal is via portal vein, except the liver is not drained by portal vein but by hepatic veins, which take blood from liver to inferior vena cava. Okay, so keep this in mind. So basically, if you want to represent a digestive system starting from esophagus, this is thoracic esophagus, thoracic part, and this is abdominal part of esophagus. Okay, down to anal canal. So this is upper half and this is lower half, and in between everything, including spleen, pancreas, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, all of them, they are taking blood from here, okay, to portal vein. Portal vein. In between you have stomach, you have small intestine, you have large intestine. Okay, so everything until you reach to lower part of the anal canal, including spleen, pancreas, but the only one is not involved is liver. So going to portal vein. Okay, so let us go and discuss the anatomy of portal vein. So we know this fact now. Portal vein, rule of two. Like let us talk about rule of two related to portal vein. Portal vein is formed by two veins. These two veins are inferior splenic vein and superior mesenteric vein. Then they form portal vein, and the portal vein ascend to the liver, where it divides at the porta hepatis into two terminal branches. Okay, so this is portal vein started by splenic vein and superior mesenteric vein. Start as two, end as two. Start as a vein and end as artery. It start as a vein and end as artery. Start as vein, end as artery, because there is no vein give branches. No vein give branches, but portal vein give two branches to the liver. Okay, so here is the liver. Then between the beginning and the end receives two veins, left gastric vein and right gastric vein. Okay, and the two branches, each of them receive one vein. The left one receive para-umbilical vein, para-umbilical, from the name coming from abdominal wall around the umbilicus, and the right one receives cystic vein coming from gallbladder. Okay, start as two, receive two in the middle, receive two at the end, receives two at the beginning, receive two veins in the middle, receive two veins at the end as two branches. Its length about 2 inches. The length about 2 inches long. 2 inches long. Okay. Now, how digestive system come through this vein? Superior mesenteric receives the blood from where? From mid-gut. Okay? So mid-gut drain through superior mesenteric vein to portal. Left gastric, right gastric, splenic, those are foregut. So this is part of foregut. This is also foregut, because left gastric bring blood from esophagus and the stomach. Right gastric the same from stomach and the duodenum. When it comes to splenic, also spleen considered as one of the derivatives of foregut. Then splenic receives inferior mesenteric vein. So this is the inferior mesenteric vein, which represent the hindgut. So at the end of the day, foregut will be drained through gastric veins, splenic vein, midgut through superior mesenteric vein, and hindgut through inferior mesenteric, which end into splenic vein. Okay, so this is the anatomy of portal vein. This will take us to another fact, that portal vein is going to break down here into liver sinusoids. Then 2 or 3 hepatic veins come out from the liver and they drain into inferior vena cava. So this one is inferior vena cava. Okay, but those veins are what? Hepatic veins. Those are hepatic vein. This is hepatic vein. Okay, so when I ask you, does portal vein drain liver? Does it drain liver? The answer is not. What veins drain liver? Hepatic veins. They take blood from the liver to inferior vena cava to the heart. Okay, okay. The anatomy of portal vein is unique because, as I mentioned, I will go back to the first sentence. It's going to drain blood from lower part of esophagus to upper part of anal canal. How about the upper part of esophagus? Is going to where? Is going to esophagus vein, which takes the blood to superior vena cava. This is systemic vein. The lower part of anal canal is going to internal iliac vein, and from there to inferior vena cava, and this is systemic. So this is systemic, this is systemic, but this is portal. So it means that there is point of anastomosis between veins that go directly to portal and the veins that do go directly to systemic circulation. The same here in anal canal. There is anastomosis between these two veins. And there is in between also, like in liver, in stomach, around the colon, there is area of anastomosis between systemic and portal. The portal circulation means that we have liver act as a gate, as a window between digestive system and the heart. If you go back here, look at the liver. Here is digestive system, okay, and the liver is the window, is the gate between digestive system and heart, because at the end blood will driven to hepatic, then inferior vena cava. So the blood flow in portal circulation, digestive system, portal, liver, then hepatic veins, then until it reaches to inferior vena cava. Okay, so what is the clinical significance of this anastomosis? We call it portosystemic anastomosis. We call it portosystemic anastomosis, and this is very important to understand. So what is portosystemic anastomosis? So there is anastomosis between tributaries of portal vein and systemic veins. And systemic veins here represented by superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Okay, so this anastomosis, why it is clinically important and relevant. Here is the liver, and this is portal vein. Okay, and this is liver sinusoid, then hepatic veins, and this is inferior vena cava, take you to the heart. Okay, this is inferior vena cava, this is hepatic vein, this is portal vein. Okay, so if there is liver cirrhosis, what would happen? Let us say that the liver has problem, liver cirrhosis, okay, and the fibrosis. What would happen for the blood flow through the portal vein? It's going to be very slow, correct? It means that the blood stay in portal vein, leading to, so the blood here stagnate here and leading to what we call it portal hypertension. The pressure inside portal vein increase. Then what would happen next if the pressure increase here? This is the esophagus, okay, and this is the anal canal, for example, and around the umbilicus, here is the umbilicus, in the abdominal wall, you have veins going to portal, para-umbilical vein. You have veins going to superior and inferior vena cava, and this is abdominal wall, umbilicus, around, in this area around the umbilicus. So this is vein going to superior vena cava, this is vein going to portal, this is vein going to the portal in the anal canal, vein going to inferior vena cava. This is anal canal, this is esophagus, this is abdominal wall. Basically, if the pressure increase here, is going to reflect back on these tributaries, correct? So the pressure here increase. What is gonna happen next? These veins is going to dilate and trying to open alternative path through this one to shift the blood with the pressure gradient. With the pressure gradient, the blood try to shift back to superior vena cava or to inferior vena cava. With the pressure gradient here, there is increase in pressure. Increase in pressure lead to a dilation of these veins and ultimately bleeding. So dilation, then bleeding because they rupture. This problem in esophagus cause what we call it hematemesis, vomiting blood, or hematemesis. In anal canal, this dilation of these veins, we call it hemorrhoids or piles, and leads to bleeding for the rectum. Bleeding the rectum. Bleeding from the anal canal. Fresh blood will come down. Around the umbilicus, this veins is going to be dilated. So it gives this shape. Veins are dilated around the umbilicus. We call it caput medusa. كابوت mean head, كابوت medusa. So those are clinical signs and problems result from portal hypertension, and because the body try to compensate for this portal hypertension and the increase in the pressure by dilation of the vein getting dilated and tortuous, and ultimately the rupture, and they leads to bleeding. So this is what we call it again, portal hypertension, as a clinical complication of liver cirrhosis. Okay. There are also portosystemic anastomosis in the liver, because this is portal and this is systemic. Also in around the stomach, sorry, in the liver here and the stomach, and around the colon in the posterior abdominal wall. Thank you very much.